Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
We're so excited. My name is First Lady Akugowan of Wazube FM, and I am also the brand influencer for Crystal Garden Estate. I'm pleased to be with our Obonge Executive Director and General Manager, no other person but the distinguished, eminent Ambassador Dr. Kevin Chuku. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
You're looking like you're telling us this is an amazing day.
Yeah, of course, today is Friday, so we are in our traditional ways.
You look good, sir.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You know, he's a simple one by nature, but he is loaded, like I always say. And I would want us to, delve into the world of Crystal Garden Estate. For
Okay.
someone who has been seeing our posts, following on social media, hearing about Crystal Garden Estate on radio and other platforms as well, and would want to know more, want to dig deep into what we stand for, what Crystal Garden Estate is all about. I'll start with the first question, okay? And I would like you to share a brief background about your experience in real estate industry, not just Crystal Garden Estate, but real estate industry in general.
Yeah, I started my journey into real estate so many years ago. In fact, last night I was recounting some stories for my wife,
Wow.
how far I had come in this industry. I started teaching and practicing.
Wow.
In fact, I started by teaching first and foremost. So my first seminar on wealth creation was the year September 2000.
2000.
Yeah.
We're talking about, let's say, 24 years ago.
Yeah.
You see why the gray hair is there. It's talking about wealth and wisdom.
Yeah, that was when I launched my first seminar. So my dream was to teach people how to create wealth.
Okay.
So at that time, what was in vogue was stock market. Then I would go to Nigerian Export and Promotion Council, get some materials, teach people about export and import and all of that until 2008. By the end of 2008, there was this crash globally in the stock market. And then I was thinking, what next? So I found out that the only thing we could do to retain wealth is real estate. So from that moment, in fact, 2009, I had written my own personal goals on what I would want to achieve regarding to investing in real estate. So, and I began to teach people. Then I was in Abuja and I was teaching everybody that knew me, knew that my gospel was invest in lands, invest in land. I said, in this land, invest in land. And today, when I go back and people that we had interacted those years, they would bear witness how Abuja was as at that time and how it is now. So much development had come, and so that's how I started my journey investing in real estate, investing in different places. I started by teaching.
When you say investing, you started by teaching and then investing. When you say investing, for the layman, you mean you started buying land?
Yeah, of course, started buying land.
Whoa.
And giving. Yes, I had a personal plan I started with 3 plots per annum, and I started growing like that. As my income increased, I increased my buying, because I live even till now. I still live a very simple life. I'm not into business of show. I'm not into in clothing, what to drive, where to live is never my challenge. My challenge is always how to build a future that I can be proud of and that can be transferred. So,
wow. You've heard it now.
So in 2011, I came to Onitsha
Okay.
and did a program for about 200 people. And I taught them real estate. In fact, all the real estate industries you see today springing up here and there emanated from that because it was a 4 days seminar, 3 days, and on the 4th day, we now drew a communique, the action plan, what to do, and they started immediately. That time, 3 was Bush, Nkwere Bush, all of those places. So the first estate that launched immediately after that seminar started in 3.
Wow.
And then subsequently, people began to start. In fact, the champion of the real estate in this land began from that environment, that training. And so 2015, my friend who attended that program, Dr. Onyekachi Paulinus, now invited me to be part of the real estate company that we are starting.
Okay.
So that's how I came and became part of this Crystal Garden Estate.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. It's been a personal journey. In fact, this your personal journey and experience is quite inspiring for someone out there. Imagine someone giving himself a 3 year, at least minimum of 3 plots a year for a start. That means you hearing this, you should give yourself a target to own a land. Bad as it bad, even if it's one. Okay? All right. The next question I have here is what really inspired you and your board members to actually start Crystal Garden Estate? I know you've been in the industry. Yes, but what really inspired you to say, okay, I have been in this, but I feel being part of someone's, joining force with someone to establish this and keep it running over the years is a good idea. What really inspired you?
Yeah, as the first meeting I had with Dr. Onyekachi, it was in his house.
Okay.
We thought through the night. We did not sleep.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that was where this dream was given birth to. And we were looking at that time the real estate wasn't this rampant. So we are looking at, if you go to Lagos, if you go to Abuja, if you go to Port Harcourt, people, real estate. So what can we do for the Southeast to solve the problem of housing deficit? Because if you study United Nations, they say that Nigeria was already having house deficit to the tune of 22 million housing deficit in Nigeria. And then we are looking at how could we be part of the solution instead of those problems. If you come to Onitsha, you realize that before now, 5 decking, 4 decking, because everybody was concentrating on the city center. And I'm like, why can't we expand? Why can't we go beyond just the city center? Because everybody is building this high-rising building because in their mind there is no land, there is no space. But by the time you begin to expand the city, you know that there is a lot of space. So we began to think how we can be part of the solution. And that was the reason Crystal Garden Estate came to the picture.
To be. Wow. That means Crystal Garden Estate, you and the chairman actually identified the problem in Southeast.
The housing deficit. Because a lot of people, you wouldn't know, but a lot of people don't have shelter over their heads. Some people are squatting, some people are living in a very dilapidated environment. And some people are those who are built, those who are renting. Today you are tenant. The next dream should be to become the landlord, to become a house owner of your own. So what can we do that when somebody starts life living in somebody's house, it's all right, it's okay. But what do we do to let that person know that he has a chance to also own his own property? And he must not break the bank to do that. So gradually, you see yourself owning it. First and foremost is to own a land. And if you don't own a land, you are not the owner of the land. Because I usually say to people that this environment is called Southeast because Igbos own more land than any other tribe. So in other words, they are the owner of the land. So those who own land are the owners of the land. If you are not part of the land owners, then you are not part of the owners of the land. So don't call yourself I'm an Igbo man
when you don't
own this land when you don't have a piece of land. Until you own land, you are not the owner of the land.
Wow, amazing. So you can be inspired by that. Honestly, I have a lot in my mind, but I would just say let's be going with the questions available here, because there are some follow-up questions that
just be free.
Honestly, if you don't own a land, you can't beat your chest that I'm the I know I'm Oboda. No. You can't boast of that. All right. My question is, what has been the key to Crystal Garden Estate's sustainability over the years? We've been here for over 8 to 9 years in the business of real estate, making sure people are landowners, people are building, people have shelter over their head, and also bridging the gap of shelter deficit in southeastern Nigeria. What has been the key to sustainability? What has been the driving force of this vision?
The customer.
The customer?
Yeah.
Wow.
The customer, focusing on the customer has been the key. It's been the driving force. In fact, it's in our system, that is our focus, to satisfy the customer, to make the customer happy, to make the customer know that he can buy land and go to sleep and go to have rest and not be afraid that he could lose the land he has bought, or not be afraid that someone could encroach into it, and not be afraid that someone could drag the land or grab the land from him or her. That has been the focus. And over the years, we focus on satisfying the customers. And by the grace of God, as many people that have dealt with us know that they are comfortable, they are satisfied.
Customer satisfaction being the strong force behind the sustainability of Crystal Garden Estate for the past 9 years, and that's a valid one, honestly. Going further, we must agree that, in fact, as each day we see new trends, new people doing things differently. Even each industry, there are some changes in it. The way entertainment is before is not the way it is right now. The way agriculture is not the way it is right now. The way politics is not the way it is right now. And then also in real estate, we must agree that the way it was before is not the way it is right now. Please tell us, how has Crystal Garden, how has the company adapted to changes in the real estate market and also different changing trends in the real estate industry?
Yeah, one thing is, once you are in any industry, you should be aware of the changes. You should be aware that things keep changing. And I usually say to people that if you are not ready to change with the change will change you. Things will break you down. Things must sweep you out of your feet if you are not ready to move and adapt to the changes. So we are aware of that. And in our system, what we have been, because you have to keep learning, keep innovating, keep doing, things that bring fresh breath into what you are doing, and not be static and dogmatic. people will always say, this is not the way we have been doing it. No. We have to do something we have never done before so that we'll be able to become what we have not become before and even be able to do much more things we have not done before. But if you continue to become dogmatic and say this is the way we've been doing it before, then you're not ready to change. So we see the industry, because technology is here and is here with us, disrupting the way we live our lives every day. And so what we need to do is to adapt by learning. We learn from what others are doing, and then we continue to position ourselves to remain relevant, useful, and people of reference that others will look at and say, let's go learn from these people. It is, it has been said that your earning is dependent on your learning. The more you learn, the more you earn. So a lot of people want more money and they are pursuing that money. They don't know that if you can just cool down, settle down and learn, that learning increases your capacity to do more. And that's where the earning comes from. So what we have been doing is learning.
Wow. So when you learn, you earn. If you learn more, you earn more.
Exactly.
That's what you've been able to. And then the adjustment to technology you mentioned. Wow. And there are some persons that are still struggling. Let's do conventional. Now people are combining. Christy Gardner said they are combining both conventional and technological in every of the practice in real estate. Wow. There's one thing every real estate company, wants to ride on, and that thing is reputation. Reputation. They say reputation. We look at different industries, and some industries thrive with scandals. Some industry thrives with rivalry and contentions. But there's a competition. But in the real estate industry, there's something that they drive with, they thrive on. And everyone keeps mentioning reputation. My question goes to reputation. How has Christy Gardner Estate been able to manage their reputation, maintain their reputation of integrity over the years? I know that, as I know my name, that there is no company devoid of challenges, issues here and there. Every day brings its own challenges. But how have you been able to stand strong and maintain your integrity reputation?
Reputation is expensive.
Reputation is expensive. I will take this home. I will do a frame and put it, reputation is expensive.
Yeah, it's very costly to maintain. And if you are not careful of your reputation, you could get it ruined in little mistake. But when you know that it's expensive, then you will do everything to protect it. Just like if I gift you with gold and you know that this is gold, you know you're not going to keep it casually or carelessly in your house. You're going to put it in a place that it will be protected because you know the worth of it. But if it's something that you don't really value, maybe because the cost is less, you could just walk into your house and drop it anywhere. So that's what reputation is. If you understand that it costs you so much to build yourself to where you are now, then you will know that it will cost you even much more to maintain it. So you are careful with your output, you're careful with your activities, you're careful with what you do, because anything that is contrary to what you're doing will just ruin what you've been building. So in Christy Gardner Estate, as a company, we know that this is an asset. Reputation is an asset. Okay? And we do everything to drive the brand into people's heart. And we believe that people have come to accept the brand.
Mm.
So it is the onus now is on us to protect that brand name so that nothing ruins it. And it comes with a cost, like I said. It comes with a very serious cost. So, people come into the industry and they say, hey, it's a place to make money. My friend, the attention is not to make money. The attention is to satisfy people. The attention is to serve people. The attention is to provide solutions for people. So it's not about acquiring money for personal aggrandization. No. It's so because many times people sell a particular property and they have raised the money and then they are buying cars and living in big houses and doing show. Once there's a problem regarding that property, they are not able to weather it because the money they would have used to weather it has been spent on personal aggrandization. And so it will have problem. But nobody in our system is focusing on himself, maybe to live big, live large, and let people know that he has arrived. Nobody is doing that because we are focusing on the solution we are here to provide in the first place. So if you use people's money to go do personal stuff, and what happens if there's a challenge? That's where people start having problem with reputation. But what we do here is focus on the people we have come to serve and make sure that they are satisfied. Until they are satisfied, we are not satisfied. So their satisfaction is really what makes us happy, what makes us know that we're in business, what makes us know that we are fulfilled.
Wow, amazing. And I can tell with having discussed with you, I can tell that you've mentioned customer satisfaction a lot of times within this interview. I think is a core or strong principle within the Crystal Garden Estate.
Exactly. Everybody in this industry and in any other industry you are in, customers should be your number one priority. Yeah. In our system, we teach people that these customers are our employers.
Wow.
Yeah, they are our employers, and they can decide to sack us. We are their employees. So everything you will do to satisfy your employer, to make you be in the good book of your employer, to make your employer keep keeping you and keep paying you, you've got to do that.
Yeah.
You don't play games with your employer. And so that's the picture we have around here.
Wow, amazing. So what I would ask, I know that to be in business for this long years now coming, it must be this, the person who is in business must have customers that return and then probably work so hard to attract new customers.
Exactly.
How have you been able to manage your clientele and then also attract new clientele?
It's more expensive to attract new customers than it is to maintain the old one. And a lot of people are not aware.
Wow.
So if you concentrate on the one you already have to satisfy them, new ones will come naturally. They are going to bring their friends. They are going to bring their family members. They are going to bring their neighbors because they are okay with where they are.
Okay.
So, but the moment you bring anything that makes them to doubt your operations, to doubt your integrity, to doubt your reputation, then you're beginning to create a crack that over time will make that system to collapse. So what we do, we have the customer database who have kept on coming back over and over and over again. Sometimes we'll do some rewards to
for
customers, yes, who have properties in different locations in our estate, and we have so many of them. Yeah, and so this is what makes us. In fact, one day we got a property. Nothing has been done there. We just announced that so property was
Launched.
up for sale.
Okay.
And people didn't care about the location. They didn't care about that nothing has been done. Even those who had gone there saw that it was bush, no caterpillar, no survey, nothing was done. And people were paying. And I said to my people, this is what we've been working for. Now I think we are getting close to it. That people can so trust you to this extent that you will not jeopardize their investments. So the onus is on us to do more, to work on ourselves much more, so that this trust, because it's easy to earn trust, but the moment you breach that trust, it's so difficult to recover it. It's so difficult to get it back. So everything we do is to make sure that the trust that we have earned, we maintain it, we water it always, and we make it to grow.
Wow. Thank you so much. I must commend you, because there's a lot you've been saying, and honestly, don't worry, the questions will soon be coming to an end. But having to sit with you, it's a great pleasure, because there's a lot I'm learning. I'm learning some of the principles. These principles you're even sharing, they're all playing out, not just in real estate,
in every industry.
In every industry, like you said. Wonderful. All right, what were some of your biggest challenges you faced in the early days of building Crystal Garden Estate, and how were you able to overcome it? What was the first problem that made you sit down and scratch your head and say, so what do we do now?
Challenges are the delights of champions. Challenges make people. What I see sometimes in companies that fail is people who are not ready to take responsibility, face their challenges squarely until they conquer it. So when it shows up like a lion wanting to devour you, and you run, once you run, you have destroyed so many things that you would spend many years trying to rebuild. So you start a business, and people have invested with you, and then the business gets to have an issue, a challenge, and then you run, you pack up. In the minds of the people, you're not a businessman in the first place. The business has collapsed, they've run with their money, and then they are screaming about, and there's nowhere to be. You are nowhere to be found, and they say the business has failed. There is no challenge in this life that cannot be conquered, because in every challenge, the solution is already embedded inside of it. If not, it's not a challenge. Every question comes with its own answer. And the answers are already supplied even before the question. Because the teacher in the classroom supplies you the answers before he supplies you the questions. But many times people get overwhelmed with the questions. They don't know that they already have the answers before the question. So every challenge that shows up, you already have the solution. So you don't back down, you don't run away. What we do is to face it. Face it. Over time, you begin to see the solution inside it. And then you find out that which makes a lot of people run away and make businesses collapse are things that they could actually tackle if they are bold enough, courageous enough to face it. So I always say to people, you cannot be in front until you are ready to confront. So if you back down, if you run away, and you will never be in front. So Crystal Garden Estate has been bedeviled with so many challenges that from the outside, you will never be able to know. Why? Because we have people, the drivers in the system, who are courageous enough, who are bold enough to face it until it is conquered. Sometimes at the expense of the company. You have to take bullets for your customers. If not, you are not ready for business. So while they are asleep, you are taking bullets for them, and they are not aware.
Wow.
But from the outside, they say, "Oh, Crystal Garden Estate is good. Crystal Garden Estate is succeeding," but they don't know the bullets you're taking on their behalf. That's what makes you an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a risk taker. So we've had challenges. In fact, at our early stage, I think one of those first thing or second property that we got is being sold to people, but we couldn't have access. We couldn't take possession. Every time you try to access it, the youth will come up with all kinds of things. This person will come and say, "Oh, if you settle him, then everything will be over." And then you settle another person. It's like we are using the place as business. So once I collect my portion, I tell you, "Man, I've collected my own, you need to go." And they kept doing that and doing that. We had to call the people and say, "Listen, guys, this is the challenge. And as it is now, we can't take possession. We cannot deliver. We have two options: to refund your money or relocate you. You know that the money has been spent. So where are you going to get the money from?" But that's the pain of champions. So some of them who accepted, they were refunded with time. Some of them who accepted, were relocated. So that situation was resolved. It looked like it was not a problem, but it was a major problem that usually crashes some people, some businesses. But we were able to weather it by wisdom, the wisdom of God, and by the approach, which is a result of courage and boldness. It requires a lot of courage to face these people, because sometimes the fear is, how would they interpret it? How would they see it? How would they are going to call you names. Some people say, "Hey, we thought you are genuine. We do not know that you are scammer." They will call you names, but you have to be bold to say, "Hey, this is the situation," and take responsibility. Than to say, "Okay, it's not my fault. We have to see what is happening. It's not our fault. So as your money is there, my own money is also there. So it's not my fault. So you lose, I lose." Hey, you're not ready for business. If you do that, you're not ready for business. You have to take responsibility. You have to bear the cost. Because in all business outings, you don't expect profit. You don't expect to make gain. Sometimes you gain, sometimes you lose. And so in some of those circumstances, we decided that we are going to lose. And we lost just to safeguard the interest of our customers.
Wow, amazing. This is really deep. It takes courage to take this way, to follow this pattern. It takes courage, but there's a lot to learn. I believe just the way you've been able to handle some of your biggest challenges, there have been some of your biggest lessons you've learned, and as well some victories too, that has helped and shaped your style of leadership and management as well. Can you share some of those lessons you've learned? Can you share some of the victories or wins you had that were a confidence booster that also helped to shape your leadership and management style?
Life is like climbing a hill. When you are climbing it, it will look so high, so difficult. Once you get to that hill, it becomes a valley. So when you talk about victory or wins, for me, the hills are the victories, because it helps you to see more, helps you to see farther. But if you realize that these hills are always valleys, at any time you get to that hill, it becomes a valley, because you're not seeing another mountain higher than it. So the motivation is, how do I climb this next one? And those things you see as success are difficulties turned inside out.
difficulties turned inside out.
That's what people see outside as success.
Mm.
Take, for instance, you see the boxer, two of them in the ring, and then they're boxing themselves, they're fighting themselves, and with their mouth bleeding, they are stressed out, worn out. Sometimes they come to the end of themselves in the beatings. Eventually, one person must win.
Yes.
Now, when the person wins, even the strength to raise his hand as the winner, he doesn't have it anymore.
That's true.
So some people are cheering, but he's enduring a lot of pains. So, but people are seeing him now as success.
Yeah.
But he's been through a lot.
Yeah.
So for me, those things, those challenges, those difficulties are the things that have taught us much more lessons than what people think is success. In fact, you can't even have the success without those difficulties. Those are the things that have made us stronger, the things we have learned in moments of difficulties, in moments of challenges, the adversities. These are the things that have helped to advance us in life. So if there be any principles we will know, if there be any lessons we've learned, if there be any wisdom we have garnered, it is the challenges that have given them to us. So many times, if you ask me, what's your success story, what have you, I can't even put my mind around it, because in my mind, I'm not seeing success yet. We are on the journey.
Despite the level of success, I would you say you've not seen.
I'm not seeing success.
Despite the number of realtors, clientels you've satisfied over the years and still satisfying, you said you don't
all
see
of
that.
us are on the journey.
Okay.
I don't know when we're going to reach the destination. Then you can call it success. But for now, we're on the journey.
Wow. This is quite humbling, I must say. I think I need to adopt this mindset. All right, going further, what are your plans for the future, for the future growth and expansion of Crystal Garden Estate? Where do you see Crystal Garden Estate? In terms of growth and
here,
expansion.
I've been saying stuff that so many people don't like.
What's that?
And what I say is that around here, Igbos are all over the world hailed for their ability to possess cash and their ability to do business in terms of buying and selling.
Okay.
And truly, you can't compete anywhere around the world.
That's commendable.
But I've also seen that around here, what we lack is corporate business. The corporate model type of business is what we lack. So we know how to do buying and selling so very well. We understand it. But when it comes to corporate, having a corporate face to this business is a challenge around. So I see it. I get irritated when I have to interact with some organizations that have to do something with us or for us. You just get pissed off. So now, our goal for the future that you ask is to build a corporate organization, a corporate institute that anybody that can compete anywhere in the world.
Wow.
So when you go to Lagos or Abuja or US, you can say, oh, this is good. It's a corporate organization that can compete anywhere. And then we are interested in building legacies that can be transferred to generations to come. Because I found out also that around here, businesses die with their owners. So once the founder is no more, the business is no more. And that's the trajectory we also want to change, that businesses can outlive their owners. Can live. We have studied businesses that have lasted 1,000 years, that have lasted 900 and something years, 1,000 900 years. This is our mindset. This is where we are going. This is what, and so that's why we keep learning those kind of route, because we want to build something that will be here in the next 1,000 years.
Wow, that's amazing. And that means the plans for expansion, I would say, it's not something to be limited to, locations, nationwide, because with this you've said, I can foresee a global empire.
Exactly, the global brand. That's the picture in our mind. We are not there yet, but that's the picture in our mind, and that's the picture we keep driving to everyone in our system, that this is where we are going. This is where we are going. Every time we set goals for ourselves, and we are fighting and struggling to get to it, and sometimes we'll reach, sometimes we don't. We cheer ourselves and then we'll keep moving, because you don't go bemoaning your failure. Failure is part of the curriculum of success.
But I never knew. How can failure?
Yeah, in the school of success, failure is part of the curriculum. If you don't know, if you have never failed, you have never succeeded. Until you fail, you will not appreciate success. So it's failure that gives credence to success.
Wow.
So when you're cooking, salt and all the spices that make the food tasty, that's failure. That's what gives success taste. If not, you will not know. Okay, if you were born by Bill Gates, for instance,
my life would have been different.
And then you have everything at your beck and call.
Yes.
And then you hit the street one day and see someone crying because he has not eaten food since that day. You will never have that passion. You won't feel anything. The empathy won't be there. You'll be like, "What is
Are you for real?
Are you for real? What's wrong with this person? Why is he crying? Why is she crying?" You will never be able to understand what the person feels. So, because you have never known anything called suffering, pain, hunger, you won't appreciate food. In fact, they could give you food and you take a little and you throw it away. You won't appreciate the value. But if you have ever been hungry, then you see food, you will know the value. You will appreciate it. You will not want to waste it, because you know that because you've been hungry, some people somewhere are hungry as you were. And you want to get that food to them. So failure is what spices the journey to success.
Amazing. I know, do you have like a specific goal for like 5 to 10 years time within Southeast or within Nigeria? What you want to accomplish? Are you looking forward to maybe establishing in some regions in the country?
Of course, expansion is part of growth. You can't say you are growing if you have not expanded. But expansion is, a lot of people overstretch themselves in the name of expansion. It's stretching beyond what they can accommodate at the time, and sometimes it weighs them down. Because I realized that what breaks people down is not poverty. What breaks people down is prosperity. Prosperity has weight more than poverty. It's so easy for people to manage poverty than they can prosperity. So when you begin to expand because you are prospering and you think you are succeeding, you don't know it comes with a lot of weight. So if you go beyond what you can accommodate at the time, it will break, it will crash the system. So we move at our pace. When you study the Holy Book, when Esau and Jacob were going to interface for the first time after Jacob ran away. So when Esau eventually met him, he was preparing to kill him, but grace found Jacob. So by the time they met and kissed and were happy, and then he said, let them go, because Esau's people and then Jacob's people and their cattle and all of that say, let's go together. Jacob said to Esau that he should go, that the children with him and his wives and even the cattle have come a long way. Some of them are weak already. He said, we are going to be moving at our pace. I said, oh wow, life is about moving at your pace. So those in front of me is not my concern. The movement of those ahead of me or beside me or behind me is not my concern. I just need to concentrate at my pace. So I move so we expand at our pace. We're not in a hurry. We know we are here for a long haul, so we are moving at our pace. But one thing is sure, we are moving.
Wow.
We are not stagnant.
Exactly. One thing is sure, we are moving and we're not stagnant. I would be honest with you. I think I've had a lot of, it's not just food for thought, I've had foods for thought, things I need to just go back and just think again, brood over them. But my final question, what's your final thoughts or words of wisdom you would like to share with our audience? The person listening, probably a realtor or an investor or a potential investor.
Yeah, what I have to say is think future. I see the behavior of people, including the realtors you just mentioned. Someone who just sold land. He wants his money immediately. And the moment he gets it, because there are needs waiting. The moment he knows that money is coming in, there are needs waiting. And so he's in a hurry to get the money and he finishes. I'm like, before the money came, you've been surviving. After the money came, you would still survive. Why would you allow the Pakistan law, which says that anytime there is an increase in income, expenses will also increase to catch up with it? That behavior, you will never be able to build a sustainable future. Okay, so my advice is, you've been surviving, you are living your life, and now money start coming. Don't increase your lifestyle. Continue to live the way you have been living, just so that you will be able to build a future that you can be proud of. So if you're an investor or prospect or someone hoping to invest, then my counsel is, in all your getting, get landed properties. You've gotten nothing in life until you own land. You should be able to be an investor. You should be able to invest in something that will take care of you when you are no longer this agile to walk, run around. At that time, you need more money to take care of your old age than now. So instead of squandering all you get now, you should be able to be building for that time that you'll be able to take care of yourself. So what you have saved up will begin to save you.
Thank you so much. This words is for everyone out there and for myself as well. I want to really appreciate you, the distinguished eminent ambassador, Dr. Kelvin Chukwu. Okay, I'm privileged to have interviewed you, hear you speak on real estate, but I would say I think I'm the first partaker of this wealth of wisdom, wealth of experience, wealth of knowledge. When we talk about knowledge, we're talking about sound knowledge and good understanding of life. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for making that time for us as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, my
Thank you for all you do for us, for the society. We appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you. Okay, so you catch up with us another time again when we get to hear some, would I call it, wisdom and wisdom nuggets for in real estate. In fact, look out for some of the real estate bullets, real estate nuggets from Crystal Garden Estate. We'll be dropping some bit by bit to help you grow and help you become a better realtor and investor as well. It's for the future.